Right now, there are people making an absolutely insane amount of money with AI. And at the same time, thousands of others are trying the exact same things and just going broke. So, what's the real difference? Well, according to marketing expert Sabri Subi, it all comes down to strategy. So, today, we're going to cut through all the hype and break down four solid AI business models that are actually built to last into 2026 and beyond. Okay, let's dive right in. This quotes, it really hits the nail on the head. We are smack in the middle of a massive AI gold rush, but just having access to the tools, like Midjourney or ChatGPT, that's not the golden ticket. The people who are really winning are the ones applying these tools with a sharp, effective strategy. It's not about owning the shovel, it's about knowing exactly where to dig for the gold. So here's what we've got on deck. We'll start with a quick look at this AI gold rush. Then we'll get into the four big ideas: the AI creative agency, using AI for boring businesses, building an AI enhanced e commerce brand, and finally, the AI TikTok affiliate. And we'll wrap it all up by talking about your first move. All right, first up, the AI creative agency. This model completely flips the script on how ad content gets made. We're talking about taking a process that's traditionally been painfully slow and expensive and just turning it on its head. I mean, just look at the difference here. The old way meant big, bloated teams, endless meetings, and weeks, literally weeks of editing. With the AI way, you can go from a single sentence, a single prompt, to a finished ad in minutes. It completely slashes the costs and collapses the timeline, getting rid of all that production bloat. So, how does this actually work in practice? Well, it all starts with data. You get access to your clients' past ads on Meta, and you use AI to figure out what's already working for them. Then, with a tool like Hikesfield AI, you can generate hundreds of new variations based on those winners. You can even use something like Midjourney to create a totally unique AI influencer for the brand, so you can make those UGC-style ads, that's user-generated content, that feels super authentic. And the best part? The final deliverable is a batch of 25 to 30 ad creatives all in the client's hands within 48 hours. It's incredible. And this is where it gets really powerful. The economics are just wild. You can charge a client a retainer of $2, maybe $3,000 a month. Meanwhile, your actual hard cost to produce all of that amazing content is only around $200. The source calls these margins sickening, and yeah, you can definitely see why. But okay, let's be real for a second. The big pro here is that it's a super easy sell. You're promising a specific number of ads in just 48 hours. It's tangible. You get to be the smart strategist, and you let AI do all the heavy lifting. But here's the catch. You need to find the right kind of client. You need businesses with a constant, insatiable appetite for new ads. We're talking companies spending over 20 grand a month. If they don't have that need, they might just get one batch from you and then disappear for months. All right, let's move on to our second model. Now, this one is all about avoiding those flashy, complicated tech ideas and instead focusing on what you might call boring businesses. Think plumbers, dentists, cleaners. These are cash-rich, durable industries that are often run on total chaos and messy spreadsheets. And that, right there, is a massive opportunity. So what is the single biggest pain point for these businesses? Well, it all boils down to this one number, 40%. Any guesses what that could be? That's it. Up to 40% of their new customer calls just go completely unanswered. Maybe it's after hours, maybe it's during a busy lunch break. Either way, that is pure, uncaptured revenue just slipping right through their fingers. And that is the exact problem you're going to solve for them. And here is the pitch. A human receptionist, that's going to cost a business $50,000 to $70,000 a year. They work 9 to 5, they take sick days, they go on vacation. An AI receptionist, it costs a tiny fraction of that. It works 24/7, 365, never calls in sick, and it captures every single one of those missed calls. It's an unbelievably powerful value proposition. It's almost a no-brainer. Okay, the pros here are absolutely huge. You're looking at a market of over 150 million small businesses in the English-speaking world alone, and the setup is surprisingly simple with tools like Synthflow. Now, the main challenge? You're not the first person to have this idea. But here's why that really doesn't matter. The market is so enormous that, according to the source, tens of thousands of people could be selling this exact service and still not even begin to scratch the surface of the demand. Okay, so those first two models were all about generating cash flow. This third one, though, is about building a real sellable asset. We're talking about using AI to create a physical product e-commerce brand, but doing it faster and cheaper than has ever been possible before. And this is all done through what the source calls the AI launch stack. Now, let's be clear. The AI isn't physically manufacturing the item for you. What it does is handle literally everything else. Figuring out if there's a market for it, building the store, writing all the copy, creating the product photos, and even optimizing the whole thing for more sales. It basically de-risks the entire process. So here's the playbook. First, you don't guess what to sell. You use data tools to find products that are already absolutely crushing it on places like TikTok and Amazon. Then, you use a tool like Replo to spin up a beautiful, high-quality Shopify store in just minutes. We're talking complete with AI-generated descriptions and photorealistic images. And then finally, the AI works in the background, constantly split testing, which means it's trying out different headlines and images to automatically squeeze every last drop of profit out of your site.
The upside here is massive. You're building a real brand that can eventually be sold for a 3 to 5 times multiple. Plus, it's cheaper and faster than ever to test out new ideas. But the fundamentals of business haven't changed. AI cannot save a bad product. You still need to find a fantastic product for what's called a starving market, something people love so much they buy it again and again. You have to be in the reorder business.
All right, let's get to our final model, and this one by far has the lowest barrier to entry of them all. For this, you don't need your own product, you don't need to build a store, and you don't even need to spend a dime on ads. All you need is AI and a TikTok account. Here's the core idea. You become an affiliate for products that are sold on TikTok Shop, and you earn a pretty sweet commission, around 30% for every single sale you drive. But here's the twist. Instead of having to be on camera yourself, you use AI to create an endless stream of high-quality, faceless, user-generated content that stars a hyper-realistic AI influencer. The workflow here is pure strategy. It's genius. First, find a proven product that people buy over and over. Then go find the top organic videos that are already promoting it and literally scrape their scripts. You're not reinventing the wheel, you're just modeling what already works. From there, you write a bunch of variations of those proven scripts, have your AI influencer perform them, and then you just post with insane volume. We're talking 3 to 6 times every single day. And this right here brings us to a really critical reality check. Most people who try this will put in a tiny amount of effort and expect a life-changing outcome. And it just doesn't work that way. Success in this game is a direct result of volume and consistency. It's about being a student of the market and putting in the work, day in and day out. No shortcuts. So yeah, while the barrier to entry is super low, this is also by far the most fragile model we've talked about. You don't own the product, you don't own the audience, and your TikTok page could get shut down tomorrow without any warning. It's really best to view this as a cash play. It's a way to make some money and learn the incredibly valuable skill of storytelling, which you can then take and apply to a more durable business down the road. So we've just covered 4 really distinct, really powerful AI business models. But you know what? Sharing about them and nodding along, that's the easy part. The real difference, the thing that separates everyone, is what happens in the next step. And the source just puts it so perfectly with this idea. It's about movement, not meditation. The business you start this week probably won't be the exact same one you're running 6 months from now. But the simple act of starting, of just getting into motion, is what creates the insights and the lessons you need to eventually build something that really lasts. So really, the only question left is the one right here on your screen. You've seen the agency model, the boring business bolt-on, the e-commerce brand, and the affiliate play. Each one has its own pros, its own cons, its own opportunities. The key is to just pick one and start this week. So what's it going to be?